merely observe that Canada is really three countries when it comes to culture. The West Bank is most British-like. Then it comes going eastwards. You have les Québécois, the French Canadians, and then you have the Canadians, which are English-speaking and very American in the way of thinking and living. So that's why Canada is probably close to non-existent when it comes to the identification of the of the country, of the culture. Probably when you see some YouTube clip, you would never think, not very often think that, oh, maybe this singer is Canadian. That's why the Canadians usually mark in the commentary section that this particular singer is Canadian, because people otherwise wouldn't know. So it's relatively easy to be in a good relationship with a culture like that, because you basically own the part of that culture. The Brits are practically owning the western part of Canada culturally. The good relations are with Spain, although I have, and it's true because to some extent the Spanish and the English are similar in the navy traditions, but naval traditions, but also when it comes, for instance, to the politics of the European Union, it's totally opposite. For instance, the Spanish are were getting into the European Union, or to be precise, to the EEC, before the European Union was really a concept. They were coming in when European Union still had got money, and they have repaired all the roads, and the Spanish were freshly taken from the horrors of the Franco epoch, so they were very much indeed grateful to the European Union, whereas the British merely observed mainly European Union as a source of additional unwanted the bureaucracy and so on. So here they are totally on different page, so I didn't really agree 100% with my students who were perceiving the relations generally good between Spain and the UK. The students were arguing, and it was very funny, about the relations with the United States and France, the British relations to those countries, whereas whereas maybe it's better to or is the relations with France worse, or maybe the relations with America is worse. I have observed that usually France is identifying very much with the British culture, and it's mostly some sort of love-hate relationships, and the same with America. But it's striking in case of America that the British are like the French. Also, they have a very specific relation to America. They usually look on America from above. They have no inferiority complex. They have rather superiority complex to America. The French are usually displeased with many things America is doing, because the French see themselves as the defenders of the European culture, whereas the British usually see Americans as the child of them, as children of them, which and the children that are not really behaving yet in a very desirable manner. But maybe it will change. American cousins. When you call some other nation a cousin nation, it means that those relations are probably not so bad. Many characteristics of the British, they come from the two elite standards that have been formed in the British culture. The first, the typical upper class way of thinking and living, is of course the ideal of the gentleman. This ideal has been constructed after the English Civil War at the end of the 17th century. It was created by the Whiggish elite, the liberal elite, of the people who were fighting against the excess of the power of the crown. So those liberal thinkers, like Anthony Ashley Cooper, the Earl of Shaftesbury, and its and his protege John Locke, they have constructed the idea of a very stoic and very very emotional gentleman, and the gentleman that was